Hello everyone, welcome to Scott Reviews Things in 4.5 minutes. As you can tell by my background, I'm back home. I'm back from my tour of Canada. And what am I going to review this time? Something I picked up in Canada, the soundtrack to the Bride of Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein soundtrack. Before we get into the soundtrack itself, I just want to say that the soundtrack comes with this little booklet, which has a lot of interesting facts about the movie and about the soundtrack itself, the making of the soundtrack. I'm always a big fan of backstage information. So if you pick up, it's probably in the CD as well, but if you pick up the album, make sure you read this as you listen to the soundtrack. And about the soundtrack, I've watched The Bride of Frankenstein 7 or 8 times. One of my favorite movies. Watch it every Halloween, back to back. Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and I never knew what melodic music was flowing throughout the film. When you think of horror movie films, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Jaws, Psycho, you think of harsh, this harsh staccato music that's just telling you that be on the lookout, something scary is going to happen. This music is very orchestral and very melodic, and this music just flows throughout the film. It takes you from one scene to another. The best thing about music is you don't know it's there. If a music is inappropriate or wrong for the scene, it'll take you out of the scene. Those movies I mentioned before, Halloween, the music is appropriate in there because it puts you in the mood of the scene. But if a music is inappropriate, it takes you out. This music is there. It just flows throughout the movie, taking you from one scene to another. And you don't know it's there, but it enhances the movie 100%. This music enhances the movie. When you listen to the music by itself, this is not, if you put this on at a Halloween party, I'll put it like this. If you put this on and you did not tell somebody this was from a horror movie, they would think it would be from a romantic comedy. That's how this music works. And I guess, The Bride of Frankenstein is a romance, not your typical romance, but that's what it is. But it's the building of a relationship, no pun intended, of a man and a woman. And that's what the music does. The music just tells you of the anguish of the monster that Karloff plays, and also the anguish of Dr. Frankenstein. Should he do this again? And the music is not heavy-handed, and the music is subtle, and the music is just brilliant. It just brings you into the scene without letting you know that it is in the scene. And that is very, very difficult to do. And after listening to this, and then watching the movie, I realize how important the music is to this movie. Not to be over the top, not to be in your face, but just to set up the mood of the film. These old Universal movies are all about mood, and the music does this brilliantly. I would not recommend putting this music on at a Halloween party. I would put on the Halloween soundtrack or the Friday the 13th, because if you put on this one, it's not. When you get to the final track of The Birth of the Bride, the music gets a little sinister there, but then it goes back into being lighthearted. But if you just want to hear a great, great album, and it was composed by Franz Waxman. Franz Waxman. He is the one who composed this. James Wales met him at a party, and he has asked him to do him a favor to score this film. And he could not have made a better choice in doing this. So, pick this up. Play it. You can play this any time of the year. You do not have to, it's good for Halloween. You can play, I would say, watch the movie and then actually play this first and then watch the movie. And you can tell how the movie will affect